Thank you, President Winterstein. I want to stress that from the moment we heard from the University of Iowa about this potential incidents, that we took this extremely serious, and Dr. Winterstein led a process where the Chief of Police, our General Counsel, our Faculty Athletics Rep, our Athletics Director, many of our staff were involved in numerous meetings, multiple discussions, to make sure that we were all on the same page, that we all had the same information, and that we all were doing everything possible to try to resolve the situation as timely and as efficiently as possible. I would also reiterate that this football series is incredibly important to the state of Iowa. To all the young men that have grown up playing in this game, wanting to play in this game, and all the young men and women that are members of the marching band that get an opportunity to perform on a grand stage, both past, present, and future, that it's critical that we do everything possible to continue to maintain this series. Thirdly, do I think that the Iowa marching band was subjected to profanity, rudeness, and possibly even having something thrown on them? Unfortunately, absolutely. And why do I feel that way? Because I know it's happened to our band multiple times in Iowa City. And that's flat out embarrassing. It's shameful. It's inexcusable. And we all have to do better. That means our fans need to do a better job of policing our fans. But so do the Iowa fans. This has got to be a collective approach to not let that type of behavior happen. However, the misinformation that continues to be perpetuated has to stop. It's not in the best interest of the University of Iowa or Iowa State University for that misinformation to continue to be shared. And that's why we're here this morning. What I'm going to do is walk through quickly a timeline of what we knew and when, and then Chief Newton will come up and talk about what his office did as part of the investigation. On Monday afternoon, September 17th, was the first time we'd heard about this. I received a voicemail and then subsequently a follow-up call to Gary Barta. He was calling me to share with me that they were made aware through the media of alleged incidents. I asked Gary if they could provide us more detail about what, when, and where, so that we could fully investigate what allegedly took place. We had a very good discussion. Both of us were very concerned, and both of us wanted to try to get to the bottom of it as best we could. I thanked him for calling me. He had called because he wanted us to know there was a media inquiry, and he thought that we may get a similar inquiry. That evening and into Tuesday morning, we tried to figure out everything we could put in place, figure out everything that we knew while we were waiting for the specifics of what was alleged. On Tuesday morning, September 18th, in this room, during a press conference on our multi-use district, I was asked about the incidents. What I shared was we were still waiting to hear the specifics from Iowa City, but what we had ascertained ourselves was that there were no police reports or reported issues from anybody on our end or from the 4 police officers that the University of Iowa had hired to be with their band. On Tuesday afternoon, September 18th, we received a phone call from Iowa's Deputy Athletics Director, who provided a list of 5 alleged incidents. Chief Newton and his team fully investigated to the best of our ability those 5 incidents and concluded that it was going to be really tough to know exactly what happened. One of the incidents revolves around the band leaving the field after the game. I'm a very visual person, and so I want to share a visual with you, because unfortunately the misinformation that's out there is a visual that their band was walking to their bus and they were attacked by Cyclone fans. What I'd ask you is to have this vision. It was 30 minutes after the game, and the only people remaining in the football stadium, in Jack Trice Stadium, were the Iowa Marching Band and the Iowa State Marching Band. There were thousands of people still trying to exit the stadium through Gate 5, which is west of the Jacobson Building, where the construction site is. Gate 1, which is to the east of the stadium, was completely wide open. Our security personnel advised the Iowa Marching Band that it would be best for them to exit to the east through Gate 1, like our band did, and had no issues because the gate was wide open. For whatever reason, the Iowa Marching Band did not do that. They chose to enter, or to leave the field through the west side of the Jacobson Building, where there were thousands of people still shoulder to shoulder in a snail's pace trying to work through that small entryway. The Iowa Marching Band marched in formation, playing their instruments, into the back of that crowd, and essentially forced their way through a crowd that there was no place for anybody to move to. Chief Newton will explain when he comes up to the podium what his investigation resulted from looking at that situation. But I think it's really important for the visual to be the buses for the Iowa Marching Band were parked on 4th Street, about 100 yards from that entrance. Had they gone out the east side, they would have come out 150 yards from their buses. On Wednesday morning, September 19th, Gary and Barta and I talked by phone. I shared what our institution's initial findings were. Gary and I mutually agreed there probably wasn't anything else we could do to resolve the issues that we were trying to deal with. However, we discussed the importance of improving things going forward and said it was going to be critical that we work together to do that. We had a very good discussion, very caring, very professional. I have the utmost respect for Gary Barta. We talked about it and just felt the most important thing we could do at that particular time was to move forward and issue a joint statement to demonstrate that we were going to work together and that fan behavior just had to improve. On Thursday afternoon, September 19th, I read, and so the release went out on Wednesday afternoon, September 19th. On Thursday, I read an account of a media interview Gary Barta did with the Gazette, where he publicly confirmed that they had closed their investigation and were moving forward. On Thursday afternoon, September 19th, Gary Barta copied me on a response to an email that was sent to both Gary and to me from a fan suggesting we cancel the football series. And I quote Gary Barta's response: "We, the University of Iowa, don't have any plans to discontinue the game." On Friday afternoon, September 20th, we learned through media reports that the University of Iowa was reopening the investigation. On Monday afternoon, September 23rd, members of the media made us aware of a video stating the future of the Cyhawk game was in jeopardy. The media asked us to respond to a quote, "Something really bad happened in Ames." Before I bring Mike up, I would just conclude with, we really care. Those that know me know we welcome every marching band. It's part of the collegiate environment. We've got 3 bands coming here yet this year. It pains me to think that this incident could result in not only the series not being played, but that those young men and young women in the bands wouldn't get to perform. Our university investigated this to its fullest, and Chief Newton will explain that. But the statement that something really bad happened has created another narrative, that there's something else out there that wasn't part of those 5 allegations. And we're here to say if there is, then somebody needs to come forward and share that with us. Because our team will do everything possible to find out what that was. But if somebody is not going to share that with us, then our hands are really tied. There's not much else we can do. I also know that we've reached out to the University of Iowa Athletics Department in the last 12 hours and asked them to confirm, did we have your 5 allegations correct? And is there anything else that's been brought forward to you since last Tuesday? And the answer is no. At this time, I'd like to call Chief Newton